and welcome to training on your new Canon imageRunner Advance. Today's training clip will address the copy function of your machine, although we will talk about the left-hand side, the display panel itself, and we'll talk about some of the options on the right. So let's get started. As we approach the machine, you'll notice that the device on the left-hand side has an option that says Main Menu. This is helpful because this is kind of like your panic button on the machine. If you've selected a button on the display panel and realize you didn't mean to select it in the first place, there is no back button on the display to get you back to the home screen. Main Menu is a simple way to get back and start over. The status monitor and cancel button is also helpful. The reason that this is helpful is because this allows you a general overview of what the machine is doing. From this first tab that you see, Copy Print, you're able to look at your print queue and see where you are if multiple people are printing at the machine. This is also where you can stop copy or print jobs. You would select from a list. Right now it's grayed out, but it does say cancel. Your machine may say stop. They both work in the same way. Once you select on the document and then tell the machine to cancel or stop, the machine will prompt you one last time. Are you sure that you want to stop the job? By selecting yes, the machine finishes pulling paper through the paper path and will then move to the next job in the queue. The send function works for both your fax and your scan function. If we select on the log, you're able to see if documents have been sent successfully, because in the results column it will either say OK or NG, which means no good. On the far right hand side, there's a Consumables and Others tab. This gives you an overview of your paper trays, as well as how full your toner and your staples are on the machine. You'll notice that there's a gray bar that's consistent in each of the tabs, whether I'm looking at the status monitor and cancel function, or if I'm looking at the main menu screen, or in any one of the tabs. So if you're low on paper, low on toner, low on staples, the machine will allow you the option to see that wherever you are on the display. Let's start back at the main menu function. For the purposes of our training today, we'll address the copy function. Simply select on copy, and the machine is broken up into two sections, a top half and a bottom half. The top half allows you to change things about quantity and reducing or enlarging, whereas the bottom half is all of the finishing options. What do you want the end product to look like? You'll notice that some of the boxes have little triangles in the lower right-hand corner. Those triangles are indicators to you that there's additional things you can choose once you've selected that function. For instance, if I select on finishing, I have the option to tell the machine to staple the document. Once I select staple, I simply follow the prompts and tell the machine which corner of the document to staple in. Usually, the upper left hand is just fine, and then select OK. Now, if you notice any of these bars are gold at the bottom, that means a function has been turned on. If, for whatever reason, you need to turn off the staple on the document, simply select on the tab and tell the function to cancel the settings. Now it's unselected and the machine will not apply the finishing option. Two-sided can be selected as well, although the default is to single side. So simply select from the left-hand side. This is your original document as it goes through the document feeder. To the right of the arrow is how the document will appear once it's finished. For the purposes of this training, we'll assume we have a two-sided document and we want it to stay that way. Then we'll select OK. The density button is really two buttons in one. The top half allows you to lighten or darken the original. The bottom half allows you to account for the background of your document. If you select Adjust, I usually select the left-hand side lever so it's at the most left position. This is helpful if you're ever copying from pastel sheets, yellows, greens, and blues, or if you happen to copy from a newspaper article and maybe there's a Macy's ad that bleeds through on the background. By selecting that background option, the machine does not look at the background and will make it appear as if you copied from a white sheet of paper. Then select OK. The original type at the bottom can also be selected. What does your document look like? When you select on it, the machine allows you to select a combination of text and photo, or just text, depending on how your original appears. Simply select OK, and the machine will reflect those changes. Now let's move to the right-hand side for a bit. Let's say we've selected our document the way we need it, and we've typed in a numeric quantity. But for whatever reason, that quantity isn't correct. Maybe our finger slipped, and it's really supposed to be 28. If we select this clear button, or the C button here, the machine resets just the quantity on the screen. Now we can type in the correct quantity and simply press Start. If, on the other hand, we wanted to reset the entire screen and start all over, we would select the yellow Reset button. Reset allows us to bring everything back to the way it was when we first walked up to the device. If we select on Options, the machine allows us 4 additional pages of options. The further back you go, the less likely you are to use the function, but they are available. For the purposes of this training clip, we'll address the first 2 pages of the Options tab. Job Build is helpful if you have more sheets than will fit through the document feeder at once. This allows you to load packet by packet into the machine until you have all of the documents loaded. Then you'll tell the machine to start copying, and it will create one individual packet. Different size originals can be selected as well if you have different size paper loaded in the machine. Simply answer, is it the same width or is it different widths? And the machine will then toggle back and forth between various paper trays. On the second screen, it might be helpful to page number, to watermark, or to print a date on the document. If we select on the watermark function, we have the ability to tell the machine at the top quadrant or bottom quadrants, or even the center of the document is where our watermark should appear. We can change the size, and we can change what that watermark says. If we select the drop-down, there are a few options that the machine allows us to put onto our sheet. My favorite is Top Secret. If you select on Custom, though, you can type in your own characters. No logos or images, just letters. If we select Close, we're brought back to the beginning screen here to choose our next option or to walk away from the machine. If you do walk away from the device, it will reset after a minute, although it is a good habit to get in the habit of practicing main menu. Hopefully this has answered your question regarding the copy function of your machine. If you have additional questions or would like to set up a training with an Imaging Path product trainer, please route a ticket to your desktop support team. Thanks, and have a great day.